There's a lot of ways for kids to get to school, but a new one popping up is the bike bus, a way to help kids get to school by bike. A few months ago, we joined 2 bike buses in Chicago's Lakeview and Ravenswood neighborhoods and talked to organizers about what they hope these bike buses do for kids and their community, and how you can start your own. First of all, thank you so much for having us out here. Where are we right now in the world in Chicago today?
We're in the neighborhood of Lakeview East. We are at just off of Broadway, between Broadway and Halsted, near Belmont, at Nettlehorse Elementary.
I just got to join you guys on a bike bus. So for those who don't know, who haven't heard of the concept, what is a bike bus and why do you guys do it?
Yeah, a bike bus is a way, an organized way for kids to ride to school together, kids and families. And we do it so that kids have the opportunity to ride to school in a group. And it's really about learning skills and building community and meeting people. And for us, also teachers join us, which is really exciting. And some of them were on the ride today. They wear red vests. So it's really to me about building community in your neighborhood. Our bike bus and most bike buses are once a week. We do it on Friday morning.
So then the rest of the week, the goal is making sure that the city is safe enough where people can bike on their own, right? Is that kind of what inspires the bike bus? Is it a community building thing? Is it an infrastructure thing? A little bit of everything?
I call it a little mini protest. Because it's showing that there's a need for infrastructure, especially in spaces where we want kids to bike. And we think it's important for kids to be able to have multiple ways of getting to school. And bike being in the city of Chicago, when you turn 12, you have to ride on the street. And so in this school, there are kids who are 12 years old who would be required to ride on the street. So we're essentially also teaching them how to ride on the street so that when they turn 12, they will be able to do that. But a big thing for us, though, is we also, this group, the leaders of this group, do a lot of advocacy work on infrastructure in our neighborhood. And we call out politicians to come ride with us and stuff, too, so they can see how the problem areas that we're running into.
What do you think would help make it safer for kids to ride to school?
So we actually ride on greenways for the most of our bike bus. And that is supposed to be the safest way for kids to be able to get around in Chicago. However, they are still roads for cars, and people use the neighborhood streets to speed through and miss lights, etc. We are in a very dense area of the city right now, which means that there's a lot of people and also not a lot of space for cars. And so the cars tend to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit closer to us. And that's what kids are also experiencing when they're riding on the street. My kid has been riding since pre-K, and he wants to ride on the street by himself, or at least with one of us. And I still get nervous when that happens. We are, also showing that there is, like I said, a need for this. The kids in our neighborhood want to do this. Over 40% of households in this neighborhood do not own a car. So a lot of kids are getting around by bike, walk, transit, and it's important for all of us. The streets, when they're safer for kids, they're safer for everyone. And that's something that I think is really important.
Why do you think it's important for kids to bike to school? What do you see as the benefit, as a mom, for your kids? Why not just drive the kids to school every day?
I think that it's important for them to get a little exercise. There's also so much joy in riding. When people talk about, and you talk about riding as a kid, people automatically remember that joy and freedom and stuff. And they get kind of excited and warm-hearted about it. Less when you're talking about adults riding. I think that it's a sense of freedom for them. It's a way for them to get places fast. We're really close to the lakefront trail, so all of us really want our kids to be able to ride together and go do something by themselves without us around. I just think it's a way, especially in the morning, to get a little bit of exercise and move their bodies. And then again, building community. These are their neighbors. And so these are people they're going to run into on the street, or maybe run into on the road while they're riding. And so it's just all of those things mixed together, I think.
Okay. And do you have any advice if someone else in a different part of Chicago or in a different city altogether want to start a bike bus? Do you have any advice for them?
Yes. I think that you should look around your community and see who's biking and reach out to folks who may not have a kid at your school, but through the biking community who may be willing to help. Oftentimes, as a parent and as the other parent leaders, we're also trying to monitor our own kids. And so having adults who do not have children on their ride, or maybe independent children, super independent children on the ride, helps us all stay safe too. And it's like such an amazing benefit. And they want to help. We've had people who work in the biking industry and who have no children or way older who come and join us. And we have, you know, people who are younger and want to help us too. And I think it's a missed opportunity often when you're thinking about building a bike bus, is like looking at your community, not just your school community, but your community as a whole.
What are the benefits you've seen of having a bike bus in your neighborhood? Have you seen changes to infrastructure, maybe just community building? What's been kind of the upside of, because it's been running for a while now, right?
Yeah, we started in 2022. So we just celebrated 4 years, our fourth bike to school day. So we're now moving into year 5. The benefit we have seen is definitely a change in attitude about biking. We've seen parents going and buying a bike, or deciding to teach their kids. Kids are learning how to ride so that they could join the bike bus, which is super awesome. Oftentimes this time of year, so the last bike bus of the year, we see a kid on a parent's bike, but by August, the kid is now riding their own bike. So they spend the summer learning to ride. I think that there's just so many amazing things that we have seen, including, you know, like I said, some shift in perspective about biking just in the community as a whole. We've also seen that neighbors are way more respectful of us. They essentially just jump off the route now. They don't even try to follow us, because why would you? We're going about 8 miles per hour. And I think, like, I don't know, it's come up on community groups, like our bike bus has come up, and the amazing amount of defense of it has really brought me a lot of joy to see that, like, it's not just us who see the benefit, it's the community as a whole.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, people are like, oh, the first time you see a bike bus, I think you can kind of tell when people are like, huh? What is this? But then when it's the 5th time and you're like, oh yeah, these are the kids, every Friday they bike to school.
Exactly.
You can adjust your patterns, you can figure it out. And it's like, cool.
When you see a bunch of kids riding and they're talking and there's music playing and there's bubbles and we're all like ringing our, you know, bells. Like, I don't think that there's anything more joyous than that. And we're all saying happy Friday to everybody. Like, Friday is a great day.
Yeah.
Day.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Next up, we head to Ravenswood to a bike bus started just this year with help from advocacy group Bike Grid Now. First of all, can you introduce yourself? What's your name and what's your affiliation with the school that we're at right behind you?
My name is Ben Shepler. So we're at Ravenswood Elementary, and my affiliation is we reached out to a few schools to try to set up a bike bus, and a teacher named Talia reached back out and was like, I want to set up a bike bus. So that's my affiliation, actually.
And what is a bike bus? What is the ride that we just got to participate in?
So a bike bus is a slow-moving group of bikes traveling to some destination, and there's stops along the way, just like you would with a traditional bus. So we kind of at the edge of the school district is where we started our ride, and then we did a big square to try to get into the school and pick up as many people in the district as possible.
Okay, very cool. And why is a bike bus important? Like, why did you decide that this was something that was necessary?
It's important because the streets are unfortunately not safe enough for elementary age children to just ride by themselves. And what a bike bus does is it provides a huge group of people, and there's safety in numbers, because when you have 50 people going by you as a car, you're probably going to stop. And then there's the added benefit of Bike Grid Now. We marshal the ride, meaning when we come to an intersection, one of us will peel off and just park ourselves in front of the cars until the whole bike bus passes through, just keeping everybody safe.
That makes sense. And what's been some of the experiences that you've seen kids or parents or teachers take away from this bike bus? Like, how do you think this has impacted people?
I think kids are really excited to ride in the street, for one, because that's a new thing for a lot of them. I think most kids ride on the sidewalk because it's not safe enough to ride in the street. I think staff and parents are really excited. It's kind of the same thing. Like, it's exciting for them too, and to see their kids get to participate in something big like this. And it's just such a fun way to get to school. There's lots of studies that show when you walk or bike to school, students perform better. It just gets your body moving, it gets your mind working. That is, you perform better than if the students who rode in a car to school.
Yeah, and what do you think that is? Like, what's the benefit? Is it like that motion, just getting them energized, getting them a little bit awake in the morning?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things. I think one, getting your body moving. Anytime you do exercise, get your blood pumping, get your mind working. I think it's good to be outside, to have fresh air. I think there's a community aspect to it. You have all your peers next to you. You see people older than you. You see people younger than you. It just builds a really big sense of community that I think has a very positive impact.
Cool. Maybe one more question I'll ask you. What are kind of like your next steps or your upcoming visions? Do you think there's going to be more bike buses in Chicago? Is it creating more resources for parents? What does that kind of look like?
Yeah, I definitely think bike buses are the way to go, and they're on the up and up. It's funny because in this process, searching for a school that we, as Bike Grid Now, could come alongside and help start a bike bus, I reached out to a few schools, and a couple of them got back to me and were like, actually, we're already in the process of starting a bike bus. And I was like, that's great. I love that. And there's just so many that keep popping up. Chicago Family Biking has a great website that lays out all the steps of how to start a bike bus. They have some great videos that show you safety tips and exactly what to do. And I just think it's something people are really craving. I think people want to get to school outside of their car in some way. And I think bikes are just a beautiful way to do it and bring people together.
Thank you to Christina and Ben for letting us check out 2 amazing bike buses. Do you wish there was a bike bus in your area? Let us know in the comments. And if you like this type of content, subscribe and consider becoming a member to help Chai Who Bike grow and thrive.